Oh, damn it. I know we normally just sort of meander until we run into a joke, but maybe we should just address what is going to very shortly become the biggest elephant in the room, which is that I have come out officially as a furry. It's just sort of my new lifetime experience I'm doing. I'd appreciate everyone's understanding. Anyway, start the episode. Let's go.
You're actually going to be an elephant furry, though. That's why it's the elephant in the room.
Yeah, right. I got the trunk for it and everything.
Oh, sorry, that's terrible. Terrible elephant noise. I can't do elephant noises. Yeah, so that's fine. I mean, I've never been one to stockpile jokes to be hilarious at the ready, which is going to be one of the largest changes here. So as you can see if you're watching the video podcast, you would not necessarily hear.
There may be an absence of something that you're hearing.
It is only Derecho and I, Christopher, today, and possibly might be that way for the foreseeable future. So, due to a couple things, busy schedules and stuff like that, no, absolutely zero ill will or bad blood. Scott will not be on the podcast for at least a little bit. Now we're kind of unsure if we're gonna look into picking up another host or trying to do something fun, like pull in like guests to talk to every now and then to see if we can get somebody interesting in here that's not just us gabbing about the same shit all the time.
We're kind of brainstorming ideas, but for now we're just going to kind of keep it as it is with the two of us. What we're really trying to say here is that Scott died physically over the weekend. He's just not a living person
Don't say
anymore.
that.
He went too hard on Halloween. He had way too much cum in his big fat dick and balls, and he sank right to the bottom of the Delaware River. And we honor him. We honor his death. So thank you, Scooter.
It's like an anchor.
You.
I didn't. The SS Scooth. I know. He would hate that. Just the way we planned it.
But he can't defend himself when he's not here. So
no, but I mean it wholeheartedly. No bad blood. We love you, Scott, very much. So people have lives, and those lives can often not line up exactly the way you want them to. So
we've all kind of seen this coming. I mean, our schedules are very different. Chris and I are on almost the exact same schedule. Scott works overnight. It just became, a thing for him. So hopefully he comes back one day, but if not, it is what it is. We love him. You guys should still follow him on Twitch and Twitter. Swearwolf, that's SWEARWOLFE. And that's your last plug on this show.
You son of a bitch, it's your last one. So, as I'm sure you know, Scott's often the most hilarious guest, which means you're in for more serious conversations, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Yeah. Back in the original iteration of The Cynical Nerd, yes, that's right, there used to be another one where me and two of my other friends in another life did the podcast. We had, much like this scenario, right, if you're an asshole. Yeah. One of the three left after almost, I think, like less episodes than this actually. And we kept going, and the conversations just still flowed naturally, and it wasn't a problem. We like ended up going for like another 30 episodes or something. So we got a decent amount of stuff to talk about, some of which I'm actually kind of excited to talk about. Some of it I'm not at all. This was going to be our Halloween episode, but with the changes with Scott leaving and it actually being, spoiler alert, the day after.
Yeah. You will not be hearing this on Halloween unless you wait 363 days to listen to this episode, which why would you? But in any other case, it is not Halloween by the time you're listening to this.
Hit you with a math fact. We will be talking about Halloween Kills. That's probably the only, and some scary trailers, but it's probably the only Halloween stuff you're going to get.
What we do in the shadows is kind of horror, just a little bit.
Sure. Okay, I'll allow it. But we're going to talk about Dune, which Derek and I are frothing at the mouth to talk about.
Yeah.
We already did a little bit of full transparency. We're a full transparency podcast. Yeah. I couldn't hold in my big fat cum load, so we already talked a little bit about it. betwixt ourselves. I'll go with betwixt. But we have a lot more to say, I'm sure, both sides. Before we do that, I have a gift to open.
Ah, yes. I forgot about that.
Why don't you explain? Well, don't tell me what it is, but just explain why I'm opening a gift.
So Veronica got Chris a gun, and that's it. That's the end of it. She got him a gun. No, we had our podiversary, whenever that was, a couple weeks ago. And Veronica just wanted to get the boys some gifts, some small stuff, non-GAD gifts. So she did. Scott's never arrived to him. UPS lost it. So sorry, Scott. Hope it gets to you eventually.
Goes up. It's a poster of some kind.
Yes. Great deduction.
I'm very good at this. Oh, it's a cool little poster.
What did she give you? Minimalist superheroes or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's going to be impossible. It's called Marvel Origins. I can't hold it open.
Oh, nice.
All the way because of the crinkled frills on the edges. But it's it's basically the minimalist drawings of all the superhero origins. Very cool. Very sweet. Yeah, that's quite nifty.
I will say this: what she got Scott was much cooler than what she got you.
Oh wow! In retrospect, was that maybe a poor choice, Veronica?
You picked the wrong one. No, he's gonna love it when he gets it.
Choose wisely. That was too many Dane Cook references within too little minutes. Okay, cool. That's an awesome gift. Thank you very much, Ron. Ron John. I love it. Ron Johnson. Ron Jeremy. I love it a whole lot. And
I'm glad she's not Ron Jeremy. I'd be in trouble. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, you would
have got that 38 longer than my arm.
Yeah, right. I'm probably gonna hang that if I can manage it, like right here.
Right. Very cool. Very cool.
This wall is deceptively. It looks bigger than it is. This is like this fucking big. The space between.
Right.
The fucking divider.
The space between. I figured you were gonna do it, and you didn't, so I had to steal it from you.
All right. Our weekend review relatively tiny, and that's totally fine. Also, this is just off the cuff, but a couple weeks ago, we discussed having shorter episodes. And one thing that you will absolutely see, definitely with a third of the voices cut out, is that we're going to cruise through these things a little bit quicker. But I think overall, that's going to be better because it should keep our conversations a little more succinct. And you won't hear one person saying basically the same thing the other two said, because we did that a lot. There was a lot of like, yeah, what they said, but also let me say it again for you.
Yeah. Here it is again in my voice this time.
So the first thing, and there's only one reason I put this article here, and it's Michael B. Jordan was rumored to be attached to a Superman project, and everyone kind of rolled their eyes because Henry Cavill is Boo, his baby boy, and we thought that this was Warner Brothers, a means to try and recast him or relaunch the universe, so to speak. That was before all the confirmed multiverse fuckery that is happening in the Flash film, but also, and more interestingly, they announced that there are 2 writers attached now officially to this project, and it's going to be based on Val Zod. I didn't know much about this character, but it is not Kal-El, it is not Clark Kent. So the huge fervor was all the internet trolls originally going, oh, they're going to make Superman black. That's ridiculous. And this article actually addresses that. It said that in his writer's camp, not only did they want to do their own version of Superman, but they wanted to steer clear of people complaining about race-bending Clark Kent Kal-El.
Right.
So I think it's a smart idea, not because they're avoiding the race-bending question, because it shouldn't be a question, but because Val Zod is a new Kryptonian, and he's got an interesting backstory. Just to give Derek the 30,000-foot view.
Give me the juice. Hit me with it.
He also came from the doomed Krypton. If I'm not mistaken, he came from Earth 2. But on Earth 2, there's still Kal-El and his cousin, who's Supergirl. However, he left Krypton as a teenager. So not as a baby. He's in a pod, and the entire trip to Earth, he's learning information. Yeah. He's being taught all the different arts and languages and math, and he's really being sort of trained to be a pacifist. In this vessel on his way to Earth. He gets to Earth and does not want to fight anybody. He doesn't don the suit and think, all right, we'll start punching bad guys. And it makes a nice, I think, dichotomy to normal Clark Kent. Not that Clark Kent thinks fists first all the time, but you'd be hard pressed to say that he always tries to go the non-violent route, even with his crazy powers. This is supposed to be like an HBO Max movie or series. I think great. I think if they are going into the multiverse wing of things, full speed ahead. Like, do all kinds of crazy shit like this, because what you're going to see is certain things stick. Certain ideas coalesce, people really enjoy them, and then they're going to build that into something, hopefully, that's kind of neat, like an Elseworlds type team up or something like that. But before I continue rambling, does this tickle your fancy at all? Do you care?
It does. Like, I've been hearing that they wanted to cast Michael B. Jordan as Superman for, I don't know, like 2 or 3 months now.
Right.
Upon reading
we heard J.J. Abrams reboot or something, which was horrifying at the time.
But it seems like it's not even confirmed that he's going to be in the leading role. He's just only confirmed to be, I guess, an executive producer at this point. Right. The only thing I really have to say about this is that I wish they were recasting Clark Kent as a black guy, just because that guy who quit DC like a week ago over him being bi would probably have a fucking aneurysm and just die on the spot. That's the one and only reason, just to torture that one human just a little bit more. No, it sounds cool. I mean, I'll check it out if the trailers look good. The other one that they have on the CW or whatever, it's just, they didn't look good to me. I generally can't get into Superman. But basically what you're saying is, well, A, this isn't even Superman. And B, it seems like he has a different sort of philosophy and way of approaching everything. So if it's something new and different, I'd be happy to check it out for sure. Yeah.
I keep wanting to watch that Superman and Lois show because, like, I know that there's a lot of, like, meaningful family. Like, at one point, I saw a clip of his son gets, like, of course, mind controlled by somebody. And you think like, oh, okay, I get it, his mind control. But it actually was like a semi-emotional clip, but the CGI is so bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's so bad. And his suit, like, whatever. You can not like that guy's face as Superman, but the other part of it is like, it's padded to high hell.
Yeah, I got to see it now. It's been a while.
Yeah, you don't want to. Been a while! So this is more of a touch and go. But, Venom 2 has officially surpassed Black Widow at the box office. Haha, that's what you get.
Yeah, that movie was terrible. It's the fucking word. It doesn't surprise me at all. Like, this article was written in a way like, it seems like the MCU is being dismantled. It's like, no, its worst film is being dismantled and surpassed. And of course, they're trying to blame it on, the lockdowns or whatever, or restrictions in movie theaters. I think it's just a clear cut. It's just a better movie. I mean, the trailer for Black Widow looked terrible. The trailers for Venom, which I haven't seen them yet, but I do plan on watching them. The trailers they don't look great or anything, but they at least look good enough for me to go, yeah, I'll watch it. Black Widow, I only watched because I had to for the podcast. There's no reason I would have ever like chosen to watch that. So I'm not surprised at all. I was surprised though, by these figures. If I'm thinking the right thing, Venom, the first one, did like ridiculous internationally.
It did like, very well,
like 600 million, and I think like 240 back home. But that in and of itself was kind of crazy to me. But the Black Widow, it seems like it only won over Black Widow. Let There Be Carnage, that is, won over Black Widow by like a very, very small margin, which is surprising.
Like less than 100 million.
Yeah. So
sorry, less than a million.
Yeah, it was like 39.4 versus 40 or something like that.
It's literally like 600K or something.
Yeah. So
still, fuck it, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Shut up! Stop making Black Widow movies. And if you haven't been listening, if somehow this episode is the first one you've ever turned on. I don't hate Black Widow because she's a female. Yeah. I hate Black Widow because I know everything there is to know about Black Widow before the movie started. Yeah. And then the movie proceeded to toss in story MacGuffins and plot armor that didn't need to be there. Ultimately, for a story that was void of emotional depth. Nothing in that movie made me attached because you already know the circumstances of where it's going. It's much like Han Solo. Mm-hmm. I might have said this before. There's a trailer for Han, like waving around my pocket knife. That used to open up that poster. There's a trailer for Han Solo where they're hanging off the side of the train and Chewie's like hanging by one arm. And it's meant to evoke a sense of like,
I wonder if he's going to die.
Right. And I was like, this does nothing. This does absolutely nothing. Yeah. So I don't care. I saw Venom 2. Totally went to see it at the box office, and it was it was exactly as I expected. It was much like the first one. It's kind of doofy in certain places, you know. It's not like the greatest thing alive.
That has never bothered me. Like when like the goal of a movie is clear, where they're like, look, we're not trying to bend reality around your fucking mind. Like, just come watch like superheroes and villains fight each other. I appreciate that. It's the same reason I enjoyed Sonic the Hedgehog, which I haven't brought up in like a year now. But it's like I went
Academy Award-winning film.
Academy Award-winning film. Exactly. Best Picture of the Year, 2019.
Right.
It just didn't try to be anything other than just goofy fun, and so it just works. It's not anything that I'm gonna like make my top 100 list or anything, but it's like, if you know what your movie's all about, and I can like sense that, I don't know, there's just something I can respect about that. Oh, I didn't color my lights all cool. I'm sorry. Please continue. I'm gonna do cool lighting.
Mine might switch to green just out of nowhere because they're fuck faces.
Right.
You hear that? You hear that, Strip? You're fuck face. All right. I mean, yeah. All right. We have one more thing to talk about. We can review. And boy, I can't wait to just jettison right past this news. Chris Pratt, you'll know him as the same guy in every film he's played in the past decade.
Yeah. Who
was recently announced to be voicing Mario, or Mario, however you want to say it.
Mario.
I'm not Hitler about it. You're
Mario.
fine. I usually say Mario. People are like, yeah, it's Mario.
Yeah, clearly you've never been to Italy. Yeah, I haven't. You're right. Absolutely correct.
Welcome to America. Chris Pratt is now... Sorry, that implies a whole lot of worse shit, so I'm just going to take that back out of the fucking...
Just got to bleep that
atmosphere.
one.
Yeah. Boop. Welcome to Boop. You're like, what the fuck did he just say? They curse and talk about cum all the time. What did he possibly bleep? Chris Pratt will now be voicing Garfield. And my only question is, this guy must be a horrible gambler, right? Like, he owes money to somebody very important. Why is he taking roles like he'll never work again?
I think he must have dirt on some Hollywood executive, and that's why he keeps getting like these lead roles that he just does not belong in whatsoever. Like, he has a picture of someone's daughter in a basement somewhere. It's the same joke with the other thing last time. It's happening again. Someone out there is getting hurt, and Chris Pratt is just allowing it to happen. That's the only reason he's still relevant. And Garfield sucks. Like, I know you're supposed to say, but it's dumb. Really? Have you ever read the comic strips? All you have to do is read like 10 of them. You've read all 7,000 of them. It's the same thing again.
Oh, lasagna. Haha, he's lazy. Kind of doesn't care about his owner. Yeah, Jesus. Oh, no. I was going to go, oh, what a generic thing to say. And I realized it actually just comes from Garfield. He's got relatively big shoes to fill, as shitty as the last couple movies were. He's still following Bill Murray himself. Yeah. Who did two? I didn't even know that there was more than one Bill Murray Garfield.
Did people like those? Like, I never watched them. Were they like?
I've never seen them.
Yeah, me neither.
The first one is Garfield the movie original. The second is Garfield: A Tale of Two Kitties, which I hate more than life itself.
Yeah, it did hurt. It did hurt.
The only good news in all of this, and I think it's already been announced, is that Charlie Day is going to be Luigi in the Mario and Luigi movie. I love Charlie Day. He can do no wrong.
Me too, but for Luigi, I don't know.
Maybe Waluigi, right?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's dig in. We have things to talk about in the world of TV. We have 3 trailers, one of which dropped today. It's almost like breaking news. But we don't plan things like that, so we just got real lucky. There was a second Hawkeye trailer that released. Now, here's the thing. I hate Hawkeye. I think he's a garbage character. I think in the world of Marvel superheroes, even though Marvel's more grounded, it's more like guy who lives in your neighborhood gets powers, they all still have powers. This guy shoots a bow and arrow.
Yeah,
I do that on the weekend sometimes when I'm bored. I'm not that good, but I mean, this is telling me
you can do it.
Really, he's an aspirational character. He's the everyman superhero.
He's just Batman without all the money. It's like, you can do it too. Yeah, maybe.
They say the whole 10,000 hour thing. Once you hit 10,000 hours of archery, the Avengers call you and ask you if you want to replace Hawkeye because he's become a giant pain in the ass and eats all their food.
And that's for any skill, like can opening without a can opener. You hit 10K, they're like, come on in. Yeah, we could use it.
Yeah. We can't open her, man. Gotcha. It's better than fucking Hawkeye. Hawkeye comes out November 24th. It's next month. There's a lot of stuff coming in the next couple of months. Literally fucking Spider-Man is next month. That's crazy to me. It feels like it's, right around the corner, which it is.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. December 21st or something? 19th, right around Christmas.
Very nice. Very good.
Maybe 12th. Don't hold me to any of those dates. I could be completely wrong. So the surprising thing about the Hawkeye trailer is I've loved both of them. I love this one too. They are fun. They're played to Christmas music. Jeremy Renner, I've always been kind of on the fence about, as an actor. But Haley,
like in anything though, like not just
right. No, 100%.
Anything.
Like in Mission Impossible, I've always been like, man, you're okay, I guess.
Yeah.
It's always about the quality of the people he's around, and in this case, Haley Steinfeld, who I've seen in other stuff, but she usually plays in stuff like what was the fucking acapella? She was in that. Yeah, you know the one.
Good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. I think she was in 2. She was charming enough. She seems fine, but she's only done stuff like that to my knowledge. She was in the Bumblebee movie, which I did not see because who cares about? Sorry,
wait, the one with Jerry Seinfeld.
I don't know if Jerry Seinfeld was in it or not, but it was the standalone Bumblebee.
Oh, movie. The Bumblebee. I thought you meant a bee movie.
Yeah.
I'm with you now. Okay.
No.
A bee movie is about Jerry Seinfeld as a bee trying to fuck a human woman, and he almost gets there. That's my understanding of the plot.
Yeah.
I don't need to know anymore. I like that enough.
Yeah, I mean, you know what to say. Bees always chasing that honey. That was a really bad joke. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Anyway, Haley Steinfeld is charming in this trailer. I thought she was great. They look like they play off of each other well. The trailer's fun. There's a lot of rumors surrounding this that they might be bringing back Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin in this series. That's a rumor floating around on the internet. We'll see, I guess, who it is. Ultimately, we don't know much about this other than it seems like people who have a problem with Hawkeye from the past are, there's got to be something more to it than that.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about the Hawkeye trailer?
I think that in complete fairness, if I were to watch these 2 trailers that have come out so far, and you didn't tell me it was Hawkeye, and it was just some totally different franchise, whatever, I would think that they look great. Like, they look like a good time. And exactly, there's something about the Christmas setting. It gives you this, like, Happy the show, that is, or, like, Home Alone vibe to it. But, like...
Die Hard. Immediately gives me Die Hard vibes.
And so I'm like, all right. My knee-jerk reaction is to go, but it's the MCU, so I know it's going to be shit. And then I'm like, that's not fair, though, right? Like, even though I'm the same as you, he's my least favorite out of all of them. Like, what I'm saying to myself is, it looks good, but I don't like it because the franchise it exists in. That's just not fair.
That's fair.
It just looks good. And like, I can't believe that out of all the shows, this one I'm actually looking forward to, because WandaVision I was looking forward to and let me down. Captain America Winter Soldier, Loki I wasn't looking forward to, but then ended up falling in love with. This is the only one, like, beforehand I'm like, all right, fuck yeah, like, this kind of looks like a good time, which is super surprising.
It legitimately, I'm like letting the trailer play in the background while you're talking, and it legitimately just looks like a fun, like, Christmas action adventure film.
Yeah.
Sliced up into a show. And I'm completely on board with that. I think it could be a really good time if it's executed properly. Ultimately, we're not going to know till it comes out.
Yeah. Which is pretty soon, I think.
Which is less than a month.
But I think the issue that I have with a lot of MCU movies is the inconsistency in tone. None are more guilty of that than Age of Ultron. It's just like the villain is in the middle of, like, his evil speech, and then he, like, cracks a one-liner. It's like you're taking me out of your own scene. It's weird. That's why I love Thor Ragnarok so much. The tone stays very consistent throughout. It's, like, mostly comedy, and there's just some drama peppered in here and there. The, like, jarring, like, serious moment to quippy one-liner thing is what throws me around. It seems like this one is just going for fun. So if they can, like, just take that tone and, like, live within it and work out of it, I think it could be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And you said falling in love with Loki, and for some reason my mind immediately jumped back to the day we were talking about, like, the penultimate episode, and you were talking about your favorite moment of Old Man Loki.
So good. About
the complete juxtaposition of his past qualities versus what he's doing. And I'm gonna rewatch it now.
You just inspired me. Yeah.
Just that scene. Yeah, that's what I gotta rewatch. Okay, so second of the 3 trailers is The Witcher Season 2. We got another trailer for this show. This show comes out December 17th this year, so we just got about 2 months, roughly. Well, less than 2 months, but you get the idea. And I mean, we've talked about this show ad nauseum, I would say. We talked about it when the animated thing came out. We talked about The Witcher show. We've talked about Season 1 when the original trailer for Season 2 came out. So I don't want to spend a ton of time rehashing the same thoughts and sentiments about it. However, I was slightly let down by this trailer.
Okay.
I can't put my finger on it. It just didn't like do anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like informational. And I guess that's what a trailer's supposed to be. Yeah. But I can't really conjure the why it didn't do it for me. But
it didn't introduce new themes. Like, it's really just like, oh, the first one was good and flashy, and this one was also good and flashy, but like no new like element to the plot was like hinted at or anything.
Right. There was no hot sauce in this trailer. You know what I mean? It was we knew what was going to happen from the end of Season 1. It looks like a little bit of training with Ciri and Kaer Morhen, which is going to be sick because I'd love to see it realized, in the real world. Well, real world. But we don't really know what they're chasing in this season. We don't know what the ultimate plot is. We see him in a couple of what look to potentially be really sick monster fights in this trailer. One of which towards the end, I think, is a lichen, which is like the big tree, the tree boy.
Yeah. Groot
fighting the tree ants from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But I like Henry a lot as Geralt. I think he does a good job. But the girl who plays Ciri is fine. I don't have anything really positive or negative to say about her because she didn't do a whole lot in Season 1, unfortunately.
I'm hoping she does in this. Like, that's really excuse me. The only thing I wanted to add on to, we have talked about this a few times, and I don't want to just start repeating topics too much, but I think all I really got from this, I actually felt the same way as you. Like, okay, this is cool, but like that's it. Like, I'm not like, it didn't make my hype level any higher than it already is. But it did make me think that Ciri was featured pretty heavily in it. And there's a part where he's like protecting her in the forest. Clearly he's putting her through training. Now that I've played The Witcher 3, which I did beat, I don't know if I actually ever told you that.
You didn't tell me that.
And I kind of know, and I kind of know more about the Elder Blood. I'm interested to see like what kind of shit she does. Spoiler alerts for a 6-year-old game here.
Oh yeah,
guys,
get the fuck out of here.
But
but they're just about to re-release it.
The Battle of Kaer Morhen, where she does that thing where she just like, without even thinking, just shrieks and not only makes the Wild Hunt fuck off, but almost kills every one of her allies. I'm like, well, if she went through like years and years of training and that happened, I hope we see some totally just like unhinged shit that she's not, trying to not do in this trailer. That being said, the only thing we had mentioned last time, the cinematography seemed like they were going for those cool kind of action shots that they did with the first one. Right. We saw the thing where he rolls over the tomb and the camera follows him in the roll. Again, very, very cool shot. But there's also a scene where he is parrying. There's two guys, a guy on either side of him, and he's like parrying them and doing these cool moves and using Ard to block their swords and whatnot.
The use of Ard was so juice in the trailer.
And I'm like, it makes me think, all right, in Season 1, Episode 1, when he got the title of Butcher of Blaviken, that fight scene, that not technically tracking scene, but looks like a tracking scene, I feel like they were hinting with that little snippet that they're going to have more of those. And that would just make me just overwhelmed with joy. But those are the only two really new things that I inferred from this. That's it.
Yeah, there's some cool creature work here. And it looks fairly decent for like a Netflix show. There's this really cool scene that stuck out to me where he's like in a snowy graveyard and there's a bat creature flying up behind him. He knows it's fucking coming and he gets ready to just jam his tallywhacker in there. I don't know what. Fuck it. Tallywhacker it is.
Fetch my tallywhacker.
My tallywhacker. Tallywhacker. He stabs it in the bat, and it looks so good. Henry Cavill is just a specimen.
He's just a hunk. He's just he was made in a fucking lab somewhere. Just a lab for hunks.
Yeah. The lab had a glory hole in the side of it. Okay, so there's one more trailer to discuss, and this is the one that came out today, and we have not discussed anything about it. And I actually am very curious about how you feel of it. So we knew that the Book of Boba Fett was coming out, right? The teaser on the end of season 2 Mandalorian, and we were told that it was coming out this year. It is coming out right at the fucking end of this year, December 29th, coming in right before the fucking buzzer. And they released the first look at the trailer. As of now, the trailer's been up for most of the day. It's already at like 3 million views, number 1 in trending. Everyone's freaking out. I want to know what you think about it before I say
cool, because I was gonna request that. I think it looks like it's produced really well, just like Mando was, just like really all the new Star Wars stuff is. It's their set pieces and costumes and lighting and cinematog is all great, but I have no fucking interest in the storyline of the show. Like, I don't think like him taking over Jabba's spot and then like, but I'm gonna be nice to you guys this time. I'm like, I don't care, dude. Come on. Like, you were so ruthless in the original. I get that you were on someone else's dime, but like, I don't know. It's just not. It didn't do it for me. Like, it was cool to look at. It was cool to like behold and like realize this character who did nothing for 40 years. Like, now he has his own show, but it didn't do it for me. It didn't do anything for me. I mean, I'm gonna check it out, of course, because I thought he was so good in Mando. But I really feel like he should have just died in season 2 of Mando as like not in a mean way, genuinely, as like a passing of the torch. Yeah. And sort of like implementing his ideologies onto shit, I forget his name now. The Mandalorian, Jin something, I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Jin something. That's his in-universe name. Jin. But yeah, so I'm gonna watch it, but this was like, I would rate my reaction to this as like a 4.5 out of 10. And that 4.5 is all set production.
Oh god, it looks so good.
It does look good.
Talk about how good it looks. The opening scene, it's either true stop motion animation with the little spider thing, or they were trying so hard to be faithful to original Star Wars that they literally animated it to look a bit stop motion. If you rewatch like just the intro, that spider moves as if it's a stop motion animation creature.
Yeah, they do. With the Lego movie, I'm sorry to interrupt you. They did do that. Like they made
no, absolutely. It was all
so it's not
it was
like
all CGI
technique. Yeah.
Look, you know that I'm a sucker for Star Wars, and as much as I can complain because I wouldn't say bastardized, but they just want more Star Wars all the time because it makes money. So they've pumped out less than stellar stuff. I'm looking at you, sequel trilogy, in order to make money. And that being said, I've loved almost everything they've put out on Disney Plus for Star Wars, besides the Lego Star Wars holiday thing that was absolute fucking not trash. Good. Mando obviously is like it's like we all felt like it was Star Wars Reborn when it came out. I still feel like it's a huge contender for revitalizing Star Wars as a whole. I think those kind of tones and those types of stories with interesting characters that's just in the universe, they just exist, they don't need bloodlines of famous people, are the way the Star Wars is going to move forward. And I gotta say, I'm really interested in this. Should be no surprise coming from the guy who really likes the Clone Wars and stuff like that. I've heard tell that a couple famous bounty hunters might be popping up in this. Makes sense, considering the title. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's kind of a neat character arc for Boba to be this ruthless, money-bound killer, only to sort of rediscover his Mandalorian heritage over the years. Because that's what he's done. He's sort of rediscovered his Mandalorian heritage over the years and sort of become more adherent to a code of honor as opposed to just the bounty hunter field. And in this, I don't know. There's a lot of physical makeup aliens in this trailer. I love it. There's the Trandoshans, I think they're called, the lizard people. There's the dog face people who I never remember the name of. The Gamorreans. It's all here, and it's all working in tandem to try and make me excited. Obviously, I don't know what the goal of the show is going to be. If it's just following Boba, I don't know ultimately if it's going to be anything more than semi-enjoyable to me. But the trailer looks, like you said, produced well enough to be something that there's no way I won't give it a shot.
Yeah.
and I hope that it's worth my time.
I'm just concerned
for you, Disney Plus.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that it's going to be like an entire show about him because he had this humbling experience with wandering the desert, like just refusing to do, like he wants to be a crime, underlord, but like won't actually be one. Like the fact that it ended, they were like, oh, Jabba the Hutt used to, send people to the Sarlacc pit, and he's like, but you can speak truthfully in front of me. And then it just ends. I was like, what? I would have rather seen him like hit a button and have that fucking floor open and like hang right there and then cut. Just because
I kind of felt like that's what was going to happen. And then I was surprised kind of that it didn't.
Yeah, I expected that. I thought it would have been a much cooler way to close out the trailer. But again, I'm going to watch it. I mean, I love Boba Fett. I love Mandalorian. This is obviously a direct spin-off of it. So I'm going to check it out.
Boba. Okay, that's all for the TV stuff. We have some movie trailers to talk about. Surprisingly, a decent amount. I should say unsurprisingly, given the time of year. Most of them are scary poo-poo. I don't know why I said poo-poo, but
it
scary.
Works, though.
Yeah, it worked. Sure. The first is something that came out a little while ago. Not a little while, but...
What does your shirt say? I'm sorry. What does your shirt say? Be kind?
Be kind.
That's boring. Don't do that.
Sorry. Be kind, rewind. I should just write rewind and like Sharpie on it.
Right.
The Uncharted trailer that came out with Tom Smallhands, Mark Wahlberg, Sophia Ali. We talked about this very, very briefly in an episode that will never see the light of day.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can put it. I'm so going to keep my thoughts brief because they're not all that interesting. As much as I like Tom as Spider-Man, and I very much do, that he can't shake the teenage, awkward, kind of angsty vibe that Spider-Man is supposed to put out, and it follows him into this trailer. And I feel like that's the most beautiful way I could put it. Mark Wahlberg, whatever. I don't care if he plays guy's name.
Sully, I think.
Sully, yeah, Sully. Whatever. Mark Wahlberg's getting older. His face is getting rounder. He's drinking more. We can tell. We see you. We see you. Put in the work for your character arc. I get it. I just Tom's not believable in this role.
He's not. He's literally
really
just Peter Parker in Uncharted. Yeah. It's the same character. And it's weird. The thing that like turns me off of that is of this trailer, and this is sort of like a contradictory statement because I don't like it because just what I was saying earlier about MCU movies is it's like it can't decide if it's a serious movie or if it's a funny Michael Bay one-liner quippy movie. And what makes that contradictory is that my understanding is the games are like that. They're like funny and dramatic at the same time. So I don't know why, not that I've ever played through the Uncharted games. I have like played hours of some of them and they're good games. I don't know why I'm okay with it in a video game format and not okay with it in a movie format. But it is weird. Like I would rather have seen Mark Wahlberg play Nathan. Like that would have made more sense. I don't know why they made him a kid. Like I just don't get it.
Wasn't that supposed to happen at one point?
I have no idea.
I could swear to you, and I'm not going to swear on my son. I'll swear on someone else's.
Just do mine. Use mine. It's okay.
Okay. I can't even say that out loud.
I don't mind.
I was gonna. It felt bad. I could have swore that the first time an Uncharted movie was kind of floated, Mark Wahlberg was attached to star.
Right.
Maybe I read it wrong. Maybe he was always supposed to be Sully. I could have sworn he was supposed to be Nathan Drake. In the before times, and then Tom Smallhands became famous, and now they want to put him in everything. I like Tom. I really do. I think he's a good actor. I like him in Spider-Man. I just can't see him in this. It was very jarring. The trailer felt really weird to me. Like Elseworlds Tales. Like what if, that's the Marvel what if, is what if Spider-Man was actually Nathan Drake, and the answer is no one wants that. Nobody wants it.
I am wondering, I probably should have looked this up before diving into this, but I wonder what the like general reception to it is. Because sometimes I see something and I think there's no way, like with Cowboy Bebop, which had another trailer, but I didn't even suggest that we cover that because I just don't have anything left to say. I
watched it.
Oh, the trailer. Yeah. I was like, oh, the show came out. Yeah, it's exactly. There's not much to say. We already said it. But sometimes I see a trailer for something and I'm just like, there's no way like everybody doesn't feel how I feel about this. Right. Like some stuff I know I'm just not into, but some stuff looks so bad then I'm like, there's no way this isn't the general consensus. And then you see like people in droves actually supporting it. That would physically fill me with rage. Like I would have palpable increased blood pressure and like bloodshot eyes if I were to learn that. So I'm going to, look into that when we're done recording tonight. See how it's doing.
Well, I mean, on the heels of like, what people think, there was actually a pretty big Twitter response to the trailer because Nathan Fillion himself, who voices the character in the game, was a part of a fan film for Uncharted. And everyone's like, just use him.
Yeah.
Just use him. And he would. And he's being a fucking prince about it on Twitter and not saying anything because that would be, well, frankly, pretty fucking rude.
Yeah.
If he was poo-pooing Tom Smallhands publicly. But I just think it's a miscast. I think they took Tom because Tom is a big star right now. And they were thinking maybe we can make this into a franchise because there are multiple games.
Yeah. And
we want a younger actor. And it literally doesn't feel right to watch.
Yeah.
It feels weird. It feels like someone cosplaying as Nathan Drake.
Yeah. And it just looks like Michael Bay, like the part with the fucking, and I know that again, the games are like this, like all the cargo falls out of the plane and he's like hopping, like bunny.
Oh, that felt extremely Uncharted to me. I was ready for that part.
And I'm sure like when you're playing, that's the thing though. We talked about before, some things work in an anime or an animated show, but when you translate that exact thing into a movie or a live action TV show, it just doesn't work. Like it's just not. When you're playing a game and everything is just graphics that are like built with textures or whatever, it's okay to like fall out of a plane with no parachute and then like fucking swing back into the pilot seat and land the plane yourself. But when you're watching real people doing it, it's like, come on, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. We have some super spoopy trailers to talk about. There's 3 left. I would say 2 spooky and 1 terrible cosplay. It'll leave you to figure out which one is which. This is the Scream trailer, which is very confusingly just being called Scream. It's not a reboot. It's not a remake. In fact, Neve Campbell is going to be in this. So is David Arquette, I believe, and Courtney Cox, reprising their original roles. Takes place 25 years after the original murders. This is just being called Scream, and I don't know why. Scream 5, everybody. I gotta tell you something. I'm gonna pull the rabbit out of the hat immediately. I like this trailer. I thought it took a very clever it played off of the original trailer for the first film with a modern take, and I thought it worked really well. It worked really well for me. She's in the house and the landline rings, and she's like, that's weird, because she's texting on her fucking cell phone, and the cell phone goes off, and it's like, how did you know my landline was ringing? This isn't Amber. So clearly this dude's already murdered at least 1 child. I really like the way it played out. She had her phone out and she's locking the smart lock on the front door and it's unlocking and she's unlocked. So this guy also has some hack skills. He's a little bit of a
dude. He's elite hacker.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that you said that. Ooh, I hate it so much. I'm sure there's other things I'll remember to bring up, but how did you feel about this? Did you like it?
First thoughts, Courtney Cox looks like shit, man. She didn't age well.
No.
It's not. Neve Campbell is looking good though. She's still got
Neve Campbell is looking good. Yeah. Courtney Cox, I would say it's not so much her. It's her work hasn't aged well. You know what I mean? It's not just her.
Right. It's very multi-angular here.
Yeah, she'd probably look lovely if she hadn't had a bunch of stuff done. But it looks like.
No, I agree. I think it was cool. It was like a modern day twist on the trailer for the original one. The calls coming from inside the house, but now it's like everybody has a fucking cell phone. The door lock thing over and over again was scary. I remember Scream. Like I haven't been shy about this in the past, but I'm not really into the like slasher horror movie thing. Like, not that they're all terrible, not that I never want to watch them, but it just doesn't do it for me. Which is strange because they're the most realistic horror film. Like, people do sneak into other people's houses and murder them. But it just, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. That being said, I did love the first one. I think I saw like 2 and 3 after that, and they were like kind of poopy stinky. So I didn't watch. I think they did another one after that. But this looks cool. I'm actually excited for it. I agree. I think it looks like
it's like a wet trash bag, right? Courtney Cox. It's like when you leave a trash bag out in the rain overnight with the rest of your garbage because you're like, well, I hope it's not going to rain tonight and the garbage guys will pick it up. And then you come outside to go to work, and it's like, you know, you can clearly, it's like all the trash, and there's water on top of it, and then you got to pick it up and shake it off, and it just smells like shit.
Nah, man, that's the garbage men's. They can deal with that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the duality of man here. You're a good person, and I just let the trash people deal with my watery trash.
They get paid to deal with the trash.
Yeah, very well. My understanding.
Yeah, sorry. I tend to just hit play on the like muted trailer while the next person's talking, right. And it came up to Courtney Cox, and I just it spilled out. I couldn't help it.
Right.
Much like garbage spilled out of that wet trash bag. I feel like I kind of hate the whole there are rules to survive this thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's the aspect of the Scream movies that doesn't age well for me. However, because at this point, if you're trying to kill people in that neighborhood, you know that everyone knows the fucking rules, right?
Yeah.
So, like, maybe don't follow them this time. I don't know. Surprise. There, I figured it out. Like, Scream 6, he actually kills everybody in the end.
Wasn't that, like, in the first one, remind me, wasn't that, like, a meta aspect to it that they were sort of...
Matthew Lillard was
great. He was, though. But
13 Ghosts.
That's my... You know, it's weird. Okay, all right. I hate to break off topic here, but we were just on Plex the other night of all the totally legally downloaded movies that are on the Plex server.
I just have to say before you continue, I love 13 Ghosts. I know it's not great in retrospect, but I kind of still love it. But
so here's what I was going to say. Everybody loves 13 Ghosts, and it's not that great. Like, it's good, but it's not. I feel like people. When's the last time you saw it? Let me put it like that.
Oh, it's been more than a decade, I think.
Yeah, watch it now. I'll watch it with you, and then we'll. Okay. It's gonna be not good. I bet you.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
I've seen like snippets from it, and I was like, oh.
It's a little like Cheeseball. I mean, it's like a snapshot of the time that it was released in, of course, but I don't know.
Oh yeah. At the time, I was like, oh, look at all these cool monsters.
That movie up in their head. Yeah. Well, there was the one with the big honking titties that were just hanging out everywhere. You just had to get past all the, cutting. I
don't remember big honking titties.
There were some honkers. Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but the guy from The Boys, our big character, he's in this.
Carl Urban. I slurred the shit out of that.
The kid, not what's his name, Huey.
Oh, Huey. Fuck. It's
Lewis in the News. Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Sorry.
What's his name?
I don't know. I can look it up.
It's Dennis Quaid's son, so it's something. Quaid.
Oh, it's Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid. Okay, there it is.
I didn't know it was Dennis Quaid's son, but holy shit! Now that you said it, no
they
fucking
look exactly
duh. Look at him. Holy shit! Yeah, it's a skinny Dennis Quaid. Yeah, he's in this. In fact, he's talking to David Arquette in the scene where he's talking about the rules. I like him a lot. I don't know. I'm gonna give this 100%. Give it a chance. This movie comes out this coming January 13th, 2022. Is it going to come out to the Paramount streaming service?
That's what I was just going to say. It seems like we're moving into the territory of, like, I think everyone is peeling back from the dual release thing, and it's going to be theaters only. If not pretty soon. A
lot of upcoming stuff is going to be theaters only, especially our budding baby boy, the Batman.
Right.
In theaters March 4th, 2022.
Oh, that was confirmed. Definitely. Theaters only?
Yeah, theaters only.
Okay.
And like everything else now, like Antlers, for Christ's sake. That looks like a decent horror movie, but theaters only? Really?
Oh, is it theaters only?
Yeah, it's not on streaming right now. Okay. Where things like The Night House are on streaming. So it feels really hit or miss. It's like one executive just has a whim on whether or not he likes a movie enough or he thinks it's going to make money. Okay. We have 2 more horror trailers. Next one is called The Black Phone. I remember seeing images from this film. I didn't remember what it was called. So initially, I was like, The Black Phone, what a dumb name. And I still think it's a dumb name. I'm not going to lie.
It's not great.
Ethan Hawke is the baddie McBadson. And there is there's a young boy that he kidnaps and like locks in his basement. And honestly, I think it looks pretty cool. It looks a little bit supernatural. This is from Scott Derrickson, the baby boy who did Doctor Strange 1 and was about to do Strange 2, who was into horror before he did those films.
Did you say Scott Derrickson?
Yeah.
Like if me and Scott had a baby. Scott Derrickson.
Scott Derrickson. Okay. Scott and Derrick's son.
Right. Scott and Derek's son. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good guy.
Scott Derrickson. Sweet guy. The official synopsis is what I'll read because I don't really have a better way to describe it. So, Finney Shaw. Holy shit! What a terrible name for a kid. You would ever name your kid Finney?
Now I'm going to, just to spite you. Just to show how fucking mean you are.
A shy but clever 13-year-old boy is abducted by a sadistic killer and trapped in a soundproof basement where screaming is of little use. When a disconnected phone on the wall begins to ring, he discovers he can hear the voices of the killer's previous victims, and they are dead set on making sure what happened to them doesn't happen to him. The trailer, I thought, was really good. I liked it a whole hell of a lot. I've seen images of Ethan Hawke in this like half mask thing that he's in this trailer and in still images. I thought it was verifiably creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm going to give it a chance.
I think that anything that has Ethan Hawke in it immediately gets like plus 10. Like it's an immediate boost because he's great in everything he's in. He's another one of those actors that even when he's in something that's kind of dog shit, like what he does within that movie is great. I think he's great at picking roles. He's usually a good guy and he's a bad guy in this. So that alone has me like, all right, like that's interesting. Okay. But just the whole concept of like, this guy, I guess, has been doing this for years, trapping kids in this basement and, murdering them, I guess. But, and you have this phone that has no power to it that those dead kids are communicating to the current kid to try and get him out of it. I mean, that's just a cool premise. The trailer was cut very well. The one thing I'm concerned with is it seems like it's going to rely on jump scares because that's what it did with the trailer. But jump scares are okay when your storyline is good too. It's only when you don't have a story and you rely entirely on jump scares that it's kind of like, But no, absolutely. I think it looks great.
Yeah.
And I'd suck Ethan Hawke's dick. Did I mention that? I would take it all the way down.
Is he graying?
I'm sure he is. He's got to be like 49, 50, right?
Come on, Ethan. We got to find at least one gray hair.
Yeah.
I got to do it till
there's
this.
one.
Yeah.
One minimum.
I have to tell myself it's okay. Okay, I want to get through this last trailer because, oh boy.
Yeah.
Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City in theaters November 24th. That's it. It's coming to theaters November 24th. That's all I got to say about it. No, this, really quickly, I don't really have much positive to say about this. I'm disappointed by the way that it looks. I think both physical makeup, the costumes look like cosplay contest. The CGI is poor, like noticeably poor. And when you're using CGI for entire creatures, juxtaposed against the gold and silver medalist of the cosplay contest, it looks I don't know, kind of fucking bad. And I hope the film is better than what it's showing me in this trailer. But from what it's showing me, I don't have a whole lot of hope. Yeah. Sorry to be so bleak about it. And how are you? What's your take?
So what's weird is when it first popped up, I think Scott shared it on his Facebook or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was because I was on my phone or like, I don't know, my brightness was turned down or something. But like, I thought the special effects looked really good. And so when like in that thread, everybody was like, oh, it looks so cheesy. Like the special effects look awful. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And once I watched it like on a proper computer, I was like, oh no, these are really bad. Like Tremors 3 bad. Like, and the sets don't look good. The actors are all no names, which isn't always a bad thing, but most of the time.
Donald Lowe is in this. Okay.
It's okay.
And he's on the Worldwide Vampiric Council. So,
I don't know. I think it looks dumb. I think if it leans into the campiness, like if it uses that, it could be salvageable, but
it looks like it's taking itself way too seriously.
It really does.
Yeah.
And I remember, again, like the one thing that stood out to me when I first watched it on my phone was like the CGI for the liquor. I was like, damn, that looks good. And then in this, I was wrong. I really misjudged that. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, it really doesn't look good. I'm going to wait for the, 5-6 days after the theatrical release that they finally just put it on streaming services.
Yeah, please do.
To make sure they make some money, because it's absolutely going to bomb in theaters. I'll wait till then and give it a look. Some
of the also fucking really what 2 non-blondes for the trailer? Really? That's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's a movie. Okay, I was trying to think for like a week now. Like, what was the movie that had that in the fucking trailer? Like, I know that's a trend now to take like an older song and like slow it down and try to make it creepy, but
this song,
it did not land.
No, it's so weird. Some of the practical makeup is cool looking. There's a couple shots. Okay, so for example, early on, they get my hopes up and immediately crush them because they show the trucker, like the 18-wheeler, in the cab, kind of turning. He's got like full blood red contacts in, and it looks creepy. It looks creepy enough to be like, okay, this is kind of neat. And then it immediately cuts to the cartoonishly CGI crash of the 18-wheeler, where it looks like it's in a cutscene for like Farming Simulator 2016. And I cannot stress how poor the CGI is. It's clear they were on a small budget, and I really think they should have done. I think small budgets can sometimes breed really awesome creativity on movies. Yeah. And I think they should have really tried to make everything real and prosthetic. And if they couldn't do it, then don't do it. Keep it small and focused. Don't, if you can't make a fucking liquor IRL, I'm sorry, I hate that I just used that acronym. Like
it's okay. It is the same amount of syllables though, because
that's true.
So it's really unnecessary.
Which basically is just useless in general.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could not be less. I'm gonna if I can watch it for free, I'll watch it. Or if I can watch it as part of one of my current paid streaming subscriptions, I will watch it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna touch it with a fucking 10-foot pole.
Agreed.
Egregiously agreed.
All right, here's the good news. Let's do it. Bring us in, baby. This is it.
Woo! Gotta get pumped. I guess we'll keep it in the order it is. We'll start off strong because I just can't contain myself. We're on our main topics here. We've got 3 to talk about. We've got Dune, we've got Halloween Kills, and we've got just an overview of what we do in the Shadows season 3, since it is now wrapped up. Officially, episode 10 is done as of this past week. So, Dune. Fucking Dune.
Can I go first? Can I go first?
Okay. I was ready. I had the ammo in my gun, but I will
go ahead. Shoot your load.
Unarm
Shoot
it.
your gun.
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it.
This didn't surprise anyone more than it surprised me, but I fell madly in love with this movie within the first 15 minutes. I went in. If you go back and listen to the episodes, anytime we talk about Dune, I always say this is going to be dog shit, but I'll be happy to be pleasantly surprised. I was wrong on this one. Same thing as Loki. I was dead wrong. This movie was fucking incredible. This was my favorite sci-fi movie that I've seen in years. It just did it for me. Like the amount of lore that's jam-packed into it got me so interested that within 2 minutes of the credits rolling, I bought the book on Kindle, and I've been reading it since. The book is great. Cinematography was excellent. Obviously, a lot of special effects, a lot of green screening, but it looked so fucking good that it's like you almost can't tell. That like the city that they're occupying on Arrakis, there's no modern day cities that are all fucking pyramids, so it's not real. But they got it as close to looking real as they possibly could have. Every character in this movie was excellent. Every single, even the ones like Dave Bautista. What does he have? Like 3 minutes of screen time total.
Oh, dude, but he's so good.
But he's great in every scene he's in. I loved House Atreides. I'm like obsessed with House Atreides. Obviously, spoilers incoming, fellas. So this is the time to stop. But
the book's been out for decades. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, true. There is not one member of House Atreides that died in this movie that didn't go out like a fucking just big dick swinging, like Duke Leto with the poison breath thing. Obviously didn't end up killing Baron Harkonnen, but fucking Duncan staying behind to fend them off. The one thing that I remember from 84 Dune that I saw when I was like 9-10 years old was that Duncan stays behind so that they can escape and he gets killed. So I was like ready for that point. I should say I thought I was ready for that part, but I was not. It still brought them tears up. He just went down like a fucking boss, just like Leto, just like maybe Gurney. We don't really know what happened to him. Hopefully he's
alive still.
I think he is too. I'm just hoping they didn't No Country for Old Men him like they did with Brolin, and just kill him off screen and then just never really address it again. But I know we're probably just doing broad thoughts right now. Dude, I loved it. It was like a 9.5 out of 10. I thought that the themes that were present, I feel like he stayed true to, I believe it's Frank Herbert, his original vision, which was
definitely Herbert. I don't know about Frank, but definitely Herbert.
It's always been an allegory about basically like imperialist nations using, fighting petty wars on, indigenous people's lands and slaughtering those people. I feel like it communicated that message well. I feel like Paul Atreides acts as like a metaphor for the white savior complex, where like we as the viewer are meant to rally behind him because he's joined the Fremen and now he wants to. But it's like, if you read the book, and it says this within the first 2 chapters, the Bene Gesserit, the religious faction of the series, has basically for thousands of years been doing a psyop where they like put these prophecies into different planets' theology. Can
I just say that I'm sorry, that's not the aspect I was going to bring up. They've literally said they've been mixing bloodlines to get to this person, and I was like, I know he gets brought up way too often, but they kind of Hitlered him, right? Like,
he kind of Hitlered him. There was some Hitlerish stuff going on.
Like, only the right bloodlines can mix to make the perfect Aryan fucking savior. I'm sorry, please continue.
But I that's what I'm saying. That was intentional. Like it's sort of like the the whole thing you always see, like if you're idolizing them, then you didn't get the point. Obviously, Paul is a well-intentioned person, but you're right. He's basically a product of white supremacist selective breeding. They have done psyops on all these planets for them to expect a savior, so that basically when he shows up, they don't kill him and they let him run them. It's just dense, hard sci-fi, filled to the brim with lore. My thoughts are starting to get scattered, so I'm going to put a pin in it now and pass it back your way.
Okay. I mean, general thoughts, I can't say much more. So I think I had mentioned this in previous conversations about Dune, but I knew of Dune, and I knew the concept was an older sci-fi story that inspired others of modern day. I knew that there was spice involved. I knew that it was a war between factions on this desert planet, and that was about it. I didn't read the novel. I didn't see the 80s movie. I've never seen that before. I knew of it, never saw it.
Yeah.
So I hit play, and I was just ready. I wanted so badly to be just enveloped in this sci-fi universe, and boy, did it fucking deliver. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was immediately engrossed in every little detail. I'm like, Kaladin, okay, cool. Who the fuck's on? Okay, cool. House Atreides is okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. And I sucked up fucking everything. I've since learned even additional details that they don't spell out explicitly, but you get through context. Like,
that's what I was going to say. Quick interjection. Yeah. One thing they did so well was basically like getting everyone on board with what's going on with hardly any exposition. I feel like the only exposition in the movie happens when, I think her name is Shani. What's
Shani?
What's the actress's
name? Zendaya.
Her character has like a quick 45-second little like, this is where I live. People are hurting my people. Like, that's the only real direct exposition that happens in the whole movie. Yeah. The rest of it is just, they kind of like say these
terms. It's actually beautiful too.
Yeah.
Because her exposition is the Harkonnens have left by imperial decree. Who will our next oppressors be? Yeah. Like, they're just ready for the next people to come in because, and if you don't know, again, fuck you. The story is decades old at this point, but in this universe, which is stuff that I sort of got through context in the film and then later looked up because I can't help myself when I find a new set of lore to dig into, is that there was like a war or something, but they don't use computers anymore. They have people do that. They don't use computers to navigate the interstellar travel. That they use spice to give it to navigators so that they can plot interstellar courses. It's a psychedelic drug that helps them, I guess, to focus immensely for a short period of time. The Mentat or Menstat, I forget exactly the pronunciation, but Mentat. It's and I'm forgetting the guy's name in the movie. Shit,
he has a really complex name. Yeah,
yeah. Sort of the right hand man of the head of House Atreides, our boy Oscar Isaacs. Early on in the movie, they did something which was like this cool little, just a brief insight into the world, but it didn't spell it out for me. Which was, he said they came all this way with all these people. How much like fuel do you think they wasted or spice or something? And his eyes go white and it literally looks like he is punching in a fucking calculation in a computer, and his eyes come back and he goes, oh, it was this many gallons. And I went, oh shit, this dude's like a human fucking calculator. That's exactly what they are.
I was going to say, interestingly enough, like that's literally what they are. They apparently, I don't know, 10,000 years before this, there was a war against an AI. So they swore off, like you said, computers and artificial intelligence. But so they, like, every house has a mentat who is basically trained to be a computer, but still have a human mind, obviously. So, right. Polka Dot Man, I can't think of the actor's name. I don't even know it.
David Destamulsion. You're welcome, buddy. I remember you.
Wait, were you fucking with me, or is that
no?
Really
that's his name.
Okay, yeah. He's Baron Harkonnen, his mentat. So all the houses seem to have one, and it's like I agree. That was just a really cool.
It was a really cool way to introduce it. Yeah. And I sucked up every piece of this lore, and I could not get enough of it. And I think if I have any complaints, the only side my complaints fall on are that I didn't get more of this universe, because one of my biggest complaints is I don't mind the slow start because I was so just enveloped in the lore and like learning about the world, and they do such a good job of setting up these houses and how the move that's being made to put House Atreides there is a political move by the Emperor, who we do not see the entire movie, in order to sort of like take the Harkonnens down a peg. And also cause some problems for Atreides. I mean, they're going to fight each other, obviously. Atreides are known to be like some of the best fighters in the galaxy that they live in. And, you know, it's kind of like, well, both sides are going to suffer losses, and therefore neither would be strong enough to stand up to the Emperor. It was more or less the vibe that I got. But all the stuff with the Bene Gesserit, I don't know if it's Gesserit or Gesserit, but was really interesting. I got to say, the whole put your hand in the box thing, my brain just kept going, what's the box?
Yeah.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
I was half expecting him to fucking say it. I would have lost it.
I loved that scene. I just have to stop you there. Like, that scene. All right. I've always kind of talked shit on Timothée Chalamet simply because he looks like a guy who has rich parents and has never had to struggle for anything.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He still looks like a guy that has rich parents.
But I didn't realize what a good actor he was. Like, even in the beginning, going from him just kind of going like, ooh, that hurts a little bit. Even that facial expression nailed it. But when it really starts to wail on him, and that moment where he just basically accepts it and just looks her right in the eye, and fucking Jessica's saying the fears the mind killer speak on the other side of the room, and Hans Zimmer's fucking score just goes like up to 19. I was just like, holy shit. And that was within like 15 minutes of the movie starting. I was like, this is going to be a fucking good movie. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was so well done.
I had no idea that the voice is widely contributed for the inspiration behind the Jedi mind trick. The voice of the Bene Gesserit, where they basically force you to do something against your will. I thought all that lore of them trying to make like this, what is it? Something Ernst. I'm gonna butcher the name. They have a special name for him.
Oh, this Savior. Yeah, no, I can't. A lot of these names I can't nail down just yet, but that, the prophet,
they have they have a name for like the male who can control the voice and the Bene Gesserit, and like they literally say like a mind that can transcend like space and time. Like they're looking for the all powerful fucking humanoid. The one other thing I would point out, because again I also feel like I'm kind of rambling a bit about the film, is that I could not have loved Jason Momoa in this movie any more than I did.
He was so good.
His character of Duncan Idaho, which hilarious name by the way. For sure, I'm like, that's such a silly fucking whatever. Okay, I'll give you a pass. The relationship between him and Timothée Chalamet was so believably Big Brother. Yeah, like you felt like real love. And then it's so dumb of a moment. Well, it's not dumb. It was a very serious moment in the film, but I don't think it was meant to elicit the tears that it did in me, because I'm a big bitch. Was when they're escaping from the city and Duncan finds them in the desert, and he runs up to him and he's like my lord, I'm so sorry, your father. And he's like, I know. And he drops to a knee and like puts his hand on his head. He's like, my lord, whatever. And I just was like, dude.
I loved that too. And this is what I'm saying. Like the in-universe lore and just politics and everything is it's done in a show don't tell way. Because every scene prior to that, Paul is not the Duke. He's the Duke's son. And so he talks to him informally. Like, looks like you put on some muscle. No, just kidding. You know, like he's always like kind of ribbing him a little bit. And the moment that he knows that Leto is dead, he's like, this is my Duke now. Like, this is the person I answer to. And exactly.
That's what I was trying to get at. Cool. It's you know, there's so much love, and there still is. But he now goes, okay, well, now you're my boss.
Yeah.
So now we're being serious. You know, we can fuck around and be friends later. I loved it so much. I thought the relationship was like one of the best parts of the film, which meant for me that I didn't know he was going to die. That whole scene just hit extra brutal. Obviously you saw it coming a mile away because of the setup of where they were. And
dude,
that
when he
leads
feigns
to like
death, and then like the shot where like all 6 of them are at the door and he just stands back up. Oh my God, it's so good. I got to watch it now.
Well, because Momoa has that like just primal rage scream down pat too, right? Like he's just got that fucking bro rage in him. That scene was great. And that leads into my only real critique of the whole movie, and then it's a part 1, and it's painfully obvious it's a part 1 because the plot is just starting to take leaps instead of just like it's walking along. It starts to pick up the pace. That whole action sequence happens, and then they meet up with the Fremen, and there's the really cool there's so much good about this movie. There's a really cool battle between him and the other Fremen, and he doesn't kill the guy right away. He has like 2 or 3 chances immediately to kill him. And the leader, played by Javier Bardem, is like, is he toying with him? And the mother's like, he's never killed anybody before. And I went, oh, fuck, Timothée Chalamet, you're such a good actor because I could see it in his motions. He's like, I gotta get. He's like holding. He's like holding back. And when he finally does kill him, it was neat to realize that his visions are like only kind of true.
That's what I loved about that. I just thought that was so bittersweet and so weird that you see these visions throughout the whole movie where this guy basically becomes his mentor amongst the Fremen, and they become friends and like they're close. And so when you see him go like, you know, do you yield? Do you yield? You're like, here it is. Here's where it starts. The guy ends up, you know, forgiving him, and that's what brings them together. But instead, he just says, whether it's that his visions are wrong or that he says, fuck my visions, I'm going to do what I want to do, what I think is right in the moment. Like, I have no idea which is the accurate thing. I just thought that was so poignant and like bittersweet. It like actually hurt me. Like, imagine, you know, you and I are going to become best friends one day, but you realize in the moment before that can ever happen, you have to fucking kill me. Like, it's just a ballsy narrative move. And I just loved it for that.
I liked the film a whole lot. Like I said, my biggest complaint is that it's very painfully a part 1 for me. And I mean that in the best way possible. And I mean it because I want part 2 and I want it right now. Yeah. And we're going to have to wait 2 years for it, but it's been greenlit. Of course they did. Dune performed very well. And I don't really feel like I have too much else to say about it. I don't want to ruminate on the same topic for too long. Yeah. We're all about extremes on this episode. And going from such a great film to our next film. I'm kidding. I'm
not.
Halloween Kills came out, boys and girls. It was on Paramount Plus. Probably in movies. I don't know. I don't know if anybody went to go see it. I felt pretty. We talked about the original a couple weeks ago. The original reboot, 2018. And I was kind of on the fence about it. I didn't hate it. I also didn't love it, but it was fine. I'm not a huge slasher film guy myself anyway, so it was more so, yeah, okay, I get it. People fear the white mask. It feels like an old 80s cliche at this point to me, but I get it. A lot of nostalgia there. Speaking of which, I feel bad saying this with Scott not here because he's not here to defend himself, but talking all that shit on how superhero movies just redo the same things over and over when these horror movies literally do the same things over and over and you don't call it out. Anyway, I love you, Skeeth. Halloween Kills had a lot of cool kills in it. That's about the nicest thing I can say for it. The plot was kind of dumb. There's something inherently fun for me with the town rising up, but it didn't do it in this one for me. It felt, I don't know. I would give this 4 out of 10 pierced goth titties. It was okay. I wasn't mad that I watched it, but I would never have paid money for it, and I'm glad that I didn't.
Yeah.
I
feel the same way, and I'll never watch it again. Like, it was exactly. Some of the kills were cool. Some of the kills were brutal.
Yeah, some of them were very brutal.
But it just, like, I feel like it couldn't figure out its own message, because it's like, oh, he's driving the town crazy. But then it's like the other message is, oh, evil has to be stopped no matter what. So it's like, so what point are you trying to make? That the people are bad for banding together to kill this serial killer, or that, like, you know, I don't know. I just felt like it had a confused central narrative. I'm going to say something that I know every horror buff is going to try to delegitimize. The cheese of the dialogue in this movie was unbearable. And I know that anybody who watches Halloween is going to say, oh, well, that's just how they are. Okay, then how they are is flawed. I mean, like, it might have worked back in the 70s and 80s, but it doesn't work anymore. It's like any chance they could have to have a high and tight shot of someone be like, he dies tonight. He's mine. Let him burn. It was just like too often. It was like every 5 minutes someone had. Like,
you had a pretty good Batman snarl going on there.
It's just like, I don't know. It takes me out of it. And it's not that the film is ever meant to be believable. It's Michael Myers, but
this is a personal preference with those movies. I actively dislike the whole he's like supernatural, so he can't die.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I viscerally hate it. He should just be a dude who's fucking crazy and killing people. The fact that they shot this man and beat him on the fucking ground, he was dead.
Yeah.
And you're just bringing him his fucking corpse. You're just trotting his corpse back out. And I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah. No, me neither.
I've never liked the
everybody's so stupid about everything. Like, let's split up so that we're in super less defensible groups over the whole town. Okay.
Yeah, let's walk away from his body to make sure it has time to get up.
Yeah.
The whole, like, he's killed so much he's transcending into, it's just so corny to me.
You know what that reminded me of? Is like it's like the antithesis to the
antithesis. I had to correct you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Interstellar, love transcends time and space. It was like the opposite of that. Like, all the killing has made him transcend. It was like, is that really your explanation as to why he can't die? Like,
I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. Did I ever bitch about Interstellar on the podcast?
100%.
I won't dig back into that bag of shit. Actually, I like most of that movie. I can't stand the
90%
ending.
of it is great. Yeah.
Denis. I will not try to pronounce his last name. The director of Dune, Denis Denis V. How's that?
I always call him Dennis V. Is it Denis?
It's Denis. Yeah, he's French.
Saying Dennis. I gotta be honest.
I think he's French. I could be butchering that too. I'm so sorry. You're literally and I'm one in a million filmmaker. I should not be butchering your name like this. You deserve the dignity to know, or for me to pronounce it correctly. He put out a statement about Christopher Nolan and how much he like looks up and respects him. And I was like, you know what? Nolan's a good director.
Crazy.
Nolan's a good director. You know where it falls apart? The writing.
Yeah.
Like, Nolan can shoot he can shoot the hell out of a fucking movie. Like Interstellar, a gorgeous film. Mm-hmm. He's got some great actors in it. They perform well. The writing, it ruins at the end.
It's pure exposition. It's like 60% exposition.
How the fuck is he still alive at the end? It drives me nuts. He doesn't need a happy ending. I've already bitched about it before. Okay, last but not least, and we're making great time. This is right about when I wanted to wrap up. What We Do in the Shadows, season 3 has finally finished. We haven't talked about the show since like episode 3 or 4, I don't think. Just like actually getting into it. I don't expect to dive on every episode. I just wanted to talk general thoughts now that the season is over, especially with the ending and what it sets up for future seasons. And I'll just go. Who cares? I loved this season. I don't know that I loved it more than season 2. I think season 2 might still be the GOAT of the series so far. There were some really great episodes in this season, and there were some episodes that were just like, that's okay. That's all right. The penultimate episode 9 of this one, I was falling over my fucking chair laughing. The whole like depressed Nandor and the Vampiric World Council comes through, and they want to see his dick. And at one point, Guillermo like wanders back in once they've all left, and he from inside the coffin, he's like, "Who else have you brought to see my penis?" I just the stuff between Nandor and the stuff he's been dealing with, and I didn't realize how much of an arc they've given most of these characters this season until it was like almost spelled out for me in the last 2 episodes, where it's Nandor was trying to find love. Literally 3 different women he tried to find love with. And then the entire plot with Laszlo spending so much extra time with Colin and not really realizing why. But it turns out that he found out way back in the beginning when they were in the library that the energy vampires only live 100 years, like on the dot. So he knew that his time was coming up. Hence why, in retrospect, they were spending all this extra time together when everyone thought that, everybody hated Colin or hated spending time with him. All the way up until the Vampiric World Council, which was hilarious. Donald Lowe being in it specifically because of his casting in Blade was so fucking funny. And David Cross as a vampire, I love David Cross.
I forgot about that. Oh yeah, I completely forgot he was in the episode.
I don't think the word is density. Is it wiggliness? But I'm ranting again. Derek, what are your thoughts on season 3? And once you give overview, we'll talk about like the actual ending and what it sets up for future seasons.
So overall, in the beginning, I really didn't like the first couple episodes. Right. I stuck with it because I didn't like the first episodes of season 1 either. It was one of those things like Dave that like I watched an episode or 2 and I went like, oh, this isn't bad, but it's not my thing. And so I just kind of shelved it for a while. And then eventually when I came back to it, both Dave and What We Do in the Shadows, I fell madly in love with. Both excellent shows.
You good, bro? Sorry.
Yeah, that took weeks to get that out of my head, so please don't do that. Literally, I would wake up here, you good, bro? Immediately, and then just like the whole way into work, I'm like playing it on repeat, hoping it'll like satisfy whatever fucking like, neurotic thing is happening in my brain. Took weeks to get that out of my head.
Baby, love hurts.
Come on.
So good.
It is a great finale, though.
It's so good.
And a great show in general. It ended up being the same thing with this. Season 3, and Veronica felt the same way, so I know it wasn't just me in like my mental state. The first couple episodes, we were like, I feel like I'm not really laughing. Like I'm just kind of doing like, like on certain parts, like the nostril nose breathe. The episode where they went gambling in Atlantic City, that was like what started. That was like the domino effect. Every episode since then was excellent, which is kind of like, again, for season 1, what the Baron episode was for me. I thought the Baron episode was excellent. And then everything that followed was great. So I agree that 2 is the best. I feel like it was the most consistently funny one. But this one was still great. After that casino episode, I thought they were all at least good. And the majority of them were great.
Speaking of Baron, my favorite Baron moment, of course, from this entire season is when they're chasing the beast and he's riding around in the fucking Power Wheels.
Yeah.
Like just the half of him is just driving around with this fucking hilarious, dude. So the ending sets up some big changes for these guys. Naja has been invited to be on the Vampiric World Council. They were very impressed with her. By a nice little cameo from Taika Waititi himself.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the film, of course. And Laszlo going to go with her. Turns out there's some changes there. Nandor promised to make Guillermo a fucking vampire.
Mm-hmm.
He basically, he pissed Guillermo off. I don't know if it was actually his plan or if it just backfired because he was being way too mean to Guillermo and then he changed his mind because of it. But him and Guillermo get into an actual fight for the first time, I think. And he basically said, that's the fire I was looking for. Will you come with me on my travels around the world? I want you to be my protector. And then when we get to my ancestral home on the banks of some river or something, I will make you a vampire. And I was like, oh, that's a really nice resolution for them. Mm-hmm. So that was the plan. What actually happens is Laszlo goes downstairs, finds out that Colin Robinson is not dead, but is more so the type of vampire that incubates, sheds its old skin, kind of rebirths itself as a new, very fucking creepy baby vampire that looks just like Colin Robinson. So he sends Guillermo off with Naja to protect her while she goes to the Vampiric World Council because he doesn't want to leave baby Colin Robinson, but also doesn't want to take the baby, you know, gallivanting over to London or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Nandor is left thinking that Guillermo abandoned him. Looks pretty fucking butthurt about it in the subway car. So huge changes. Like next season, they're all going to be in different places around the world.
Separate. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they needed that. I really do, because I feel like they've come to the conclusion of what they can do in the same house in Staten Island. Like they transcended from nobody to stumbling their way into the Vampiric Council locally, somehow not royally fucking that up despite all being morons. And then where do you go from there? You know what I mean? So it feels like the natural next step for them. How do you feel about like them being separate? Do you think it's going to be a good thing?
I do agree. And like I said, like the first couple episodes I couldn't get into, and I feel like that's what it was. It's like, how many times can you possibly get away with the theme of like all the different neurotic vampires are doing their quirky thing in the same house throughout the day and they cross each other's paths? It's like that gets old after a while. I feel like separating them is cool, like narratively, but it's also going to be cool to see how, you have, I keep wanting to call him Jackie Daytona, but it's Laszlo and Colin Robinson basically in the house by themselves. That's the least unlikely pair because they've been throughout season 3 kind of paired off. But to see Guillermo and Naja, they're a little bit more unlikely. They never really connected. She kind of just like talks down to him all the time. And now he's basically like her bodyguard. And Nandor, who's like kind of the needy one, is going to be solo. He's going to be by himself. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be cool. I like the way it ended. I did call that Colin Robinson wasn't actually going to be dead. Everybody at work was like, nah, he's done. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. He's one of the most favorite characters by the fan base, if not the most favorite. There's no reason whatsoever for them to get rid of it. It's not Game of Thrones. Like, you don't kill off people, at the end of their arc. Like with comedy shows, you just find a new funny situation for him. So having a little like baby Groot, Colin Robinson, could make for some pretty hilarious situations.
Yeah, the whole Siren episode with him on the trash island was fucking so good. I just love whenever Laszlo turns into a bat and actually screams bat. Yeah. So any chance for that to happen is always hilarious. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it could lead to some hilarious capers. Mm-hmm. And let us not only does Naja not really ever give Guillermo the fucking time of day, but he doesn't want to go with her either.
Yeah.
So, who's to say he won't just try and fucking abandon her when they get there? We'll see, I guess. Maybe she'll be like, oh, I need you. Laszlo's not here. I'm by myself. But that's all speculation. I think we're about done. I think we did it.
I think that's it. Scott, what did you think? Scott? I think we lost Scott.
We lost Scott. Scott, I love you, buddy. I would say it felt weird when you weren't here, but I talk so much that for me, it was a normal amount that I talk. It
was good. It was a good time. Not that we don't miss you dearly.
Miss you horribly. I don't have a funny joke plan to go out on. We're probably just gonna say bye like weirdos.
Yeah, like goodbye, good night now.
Yeah, see ya.
Hope you're
Episode
well.
44. We usually do it's title and thumbnail offline. Title, I'm gonna suggest Courtney Cox on a wet hot garbage or something similar in that theme. Like I gotta figure out exactly what it's gonna be, but something along those lines feels appropriate. Derek, have you been streaming at all?
I have sort of on and off, and you can find me on Twitch at Dr. Gloom MD. That's DRGLOOMMD. And by that same handle, you can find me on Twitter. That was Dr. Gloom MD, DRGLOOMMD.
Nice. I haven't been streaming. Like, I haven't been doing anything. I start a diet tomorrow. Sam had to go grocery shopping tonight because of trick-or-treating yesterday. So, I don't know. I got to get back into the swing of things. I wouldn't call it depression. I don't think I've ever had anything close to that, but a general, like, malaise. That's a good word.
No, we were talking about this last night. Like, I go through these phases where, like, nothing satisfies me, and I jump from game to game to game to game to game. and then to like show to movie to show to movie, and it's like, this all sucks.
Yeah, I like literally my nights have consisted of watching 1 or 2 episodes of a show I'm trying to actually like invest in my time in. Like I've been watching Mythic Quest on Apple TV lately because it's actually a funny show.
Yeah.
And playing Horizon Zero Dawn, the PC port. But every time I turn it on, I'm like, I don't feel like talking while I'm playing, so I'm not gonna turn on my stream. And I miss streaming. And I will say I will be back this week. Deep Rock Galactic has a big old dick upgrade coming on Thursday, brother of Odin's, son of. I fucked that up. Oh well, you get the point. The big old fucking update coming on Thursday, and I didn't expect to do this, but they have a free battle pass coming. New enemy types, new mission types. There's a rival company that you're going to be fighting against who's trying to mine, and you basically sabotage them, which looks like a lot of fun. New weapons for every class. A ton of unlockables.
Very tight, very tight.
Yeah, it looks like a great way to... The biggest problem I had with that game, having played as much of it as I had, is there was no like carrot to chase to keep playing. It's like, all right, well, I did this. I don't really care about working extra hard to get a beard. So I'm just going to turn it off until they release more content.
Yeah.
And this battle pass looks really cool. I hope it lives up to my expectations. I will definitely, like, no question, be streaming that when it comes out. And that's at TCN Plays on Twitch and Twitter. And with that, Derry Show, I bid you adieu.
And same to you.
I'm kidding. I can't do it like that. We'll see you guys next time. Again, it's at The Cynical Nerd on Twitter. We didn't have any emails this week. Hopefully, if you want to send us something, it's questions@thecynicalnerd.com, or you can tweet at us at The Cynical Nerd with a hashtag AskTCN for a question, or fuck TCN. Fuck something up, because we probably did.
We almost certainly did. Every
like
episode, we almost certainly did.
Erzweist, the Brätwurst from Dune. That's his name, right? He's the Brätwurst. That's the fucking coveted one.
Wait, what?
There's a thumbnail in there somewhere. The nickname for the chosen one. It's like Brätwurst.
Oh, right. Yeah, close enough. Close enough that that's what I'm going to call it from here on out.
Yeah, he's the Brätwurst. So we'll see you guys next week for episode 45.
If you're feeling saucy and you think you want to apply to this job, just let us know. We're not going to think that you're as funny as Scott was, but you might get the job. Yeah. You have to be really funny, and I want you to submit a tape of you talking by yourself for an hour with many jokes peppered in. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I mean, yeah. If that's a good point. We like I said, we weren't sure, and we honestly still aren't sure if we think re-adding a third is the wisest choice or not. But if you have interest, feel free to let us know. We'd be happy to think about it for sure. I mean, it's not like we're, leading the fucking charts of podcasting here. We just like talking about shit that we think is cool. But also, we will deny you. Like, we're not so desperate that we're just going to say yes. Yeah, 100%. We will tell you to get the fuck out and never talk to us again. Yeah, you're going to have to make like 3 to 5 fake accounts and submit those with various disguises on, so that we can deny those first and then accept your like 6th petition to join the show. So with that being said, we'll see you guys next time. See ya. Bye.